This can't be good.
A sandy.
Yes, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Nigma versus Tempo. I'm Eddie Pixel, joined by Fog. We just had Crafts and Fog. What do we reckon? I've got to kind of agree with the panel that I kind of like what Tempo's got going. I like what both teams have got going. We've got a lot of team fight, got a lot of farming potential. I mean, this looks like a pretty even draft, right?
Yeah, it looks like there should be a lot of battling, and I like seeing both sides with lots of team fight in particular, because I feel like the last two games we just watched didn't really have like this crazy amount of team fight kind of kicking in. One thing I'm looking at Nigma that I feel like they are lacking a little bit is something that I hear Dan was mentioning at the end of the panel there is frontline, right? Mind control, he is the only actual like frontline tanky kind of hero for their entire team. The rest of them are very fragile.
Is that not enough? Well, you think it's just a little too much on if mind control's not about in whatever fight's going on, they are going to be very vulnerable. Like, he has to be there.
I do feel like it, yeah. Unless it's like, you know, they're setting up a play with these glimpses and they're getting these constant pickoffs like that, you know, where you're just number advantaging them. I feel like it could hurt them a bit, because there's a lot of different ways that I do see Tempo getting those like quick kills, right? Like a stun into an arrow, a skewer back, there's an X into an arrow. They have so many different ways to catch and to get around these squishy heroes.
Yeah, I think, yeah, they're definitely going to have to come out with some pretty nice plays, Nigma, to make their heroes sort of work. Whereas I think with Tempo, it feels a little easier with a draft, right? Because as long as they don't get run over at the start, they're going to have to troll Magnus to fall back on. Troll's going to farm. And Troll, for the most part, seems like quite a good troll game, right? This route is going to mess with heroes like the Sand King and the Faceless Void.
The battle begins.
Yeah, in that essence, it's a good troll game. The one thing, though, that's not so good for the trolls, Troll doesn't like playing versus heavy amounts of magic damage, and I look at Nigma, and it's all magic damage. They will have a lot of different ways to burst him.
Yeah, because I mean, when do you sort of get a BKB in the build-up? You ideally don't, right? You want to sort of rely on sort of status resist, lifesteal, but
you can't.
He's going to need to. Yeah.
You have to get a BKB versus Disruptor. It breaks it, because he can you'll just get put in his ulti, and then you can't get your ult off. So it's gonna have to be to a point, even though he doesn't want to this game, that he'll have to get it. So
sure. Yeah, we'll see what sort of progress Krill's able to make on the troll. I mean, looking at these other lanes, anyone else sort of going to have a great time in this laning stage, or is going to struggle heavily?
I feel like bottom on the side of Tempo is going to suffer. I actually really like Disruptor plus Void. I think Disruptor is actually a very strong zoning hero. Yeah. I don't see what DNZ... DNZ cannot contest versus a Disruptor. You just get nuked as a Mirana, and you can't trade hits as much. I mean, he's going to secure Miracle's farm pretty nicely versus Mitch.
Because for Iron Man, you pretty much focus all of your harassment onto the Mirana. You don't bother ever sort of thunder-striking the Magnus. Your job is to just stop DNZ from being able to do anything.
The job as the Disruptor is block hard camp and nuke the Mirana, and then, you know, you a couple extra right hits on the Mag, but mostly the Void Miracle will be able to that. They're actually just going to get a free kill.
Yeah, they do. They see that he's sealed arrow level 1. He throws it out, and straight away Miracle jumps in upon him, and there we have it. First blood for Nigma.
Yeah,
they didn't skip a beat on that at all. As soon as they saw that, they were on top of it.
Yep. Magnus Mirana, not the strongest duo of lane versus what they're against in this time around here. So.
See how much farm Mitch can get down it as the Magnus, to see what sort of build-up he goes for. He's got the one and with the arcane queued up. You would imagine it's probably going to be sort of this arcane mech sort of aura offlane Magnus, would you imagine?
Yeah, I think that's I think that's like the only way to really play it as the offlane.
Yeah, you don't think you can go greedy. You can never sort of try and play for yourself. You got to play into the auras. I mean, was he the other day saying you didn't like the Magnus in the offlane too much, or?
I don't so much, to be honest. No. It feels very weird if you're not playing with like someone who's just going to win the game by himself, like an anti-mage, right? Like Void, with Troll, he's not going to win the game by himself. He needs the backup of your team, so not crazy about the Mag with this. None of the offlaner, at least. Yeah,
we'll see what they can do with it. I mean, at least they do have a good team fight around it, right? You've got SRP and obviously the combo of the Conqueror, and if Noob's able to have a good game and it gets to the point where maybe he gets sort of the acronyms as well down the line, it's going to be a lot of team fight control that Nigma are going to have to deal with when they're trying to commit with these Chronospheres and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It is always going to give him that. I see Mind Control top. He's off to a good start. I think he's going to have. I think he's going to be pretty solid in this game, because this top lane, it's not the strongest. This Venge plus Troll, they can't actually pose much kill threat onto a Sand King plus Rubik. I actually think the Sand King Rubik can pose more kill threat once they get a couple levels in their hands, which they will get. This lane gets a lot stronger.
Yeah, a good amount of stun control and damage between the two of them once the mind control starts to get the points up.
Yep. They do find the D ward on the side camp there finally too, so they'll be able to start getting those side pulls. Mid going. Weeha's, he's holding his own. Noob is winning that matchup, but Weeha's still doing just
As
fine.
expected, right?
Yeah.
See the Kunkka have a slight edge. You're going to have a much easier time at cutting through the wave, and you're built to withstand sort of the damage coming out from the Zeus. I mean, you sit ready just what with the bracer. You're sitting at 1k HP in this mid lane Kunkka.
Yeah, you're free in the lane. You're able to get him just a little bit more denied, a couple more last hits because of your base damage. So. Rune's coming out though. Weeha is set up for the top rune, so let's see if he gets lucky.
No.
Of course he will.
does. He does indeed. Oh, refills that hatred. He's going to think about going top. I mean, you would, right? You've just got yourself a hatred. You're going to charge straight towards the top lane already. LeBron's low, as they don't even need Weeha to help with the kill on Venge. Venge will go down. Now Weeha's kind of like, well, what can I do? I mean, you can throw a bit of damage out into the troll.
This is low.
Decrolat hiding right behind the tower. As yeah, Weeha just for moral support decided to turn up the top lane, gave them a bit of a cheer, and the job was done, baby.
He only missed, I think, one last hit in the mid lane or so. So not much time lost there. We'll have a good time on that level 6, but Kunkka will have 6 pretty decent timing before. I want to see DNZ make a move around to the mid lane pretty soon, actually. Maybe even now. I think I want to see him like back up, smoke, maybe even look for it. We do have bounties coming out, but I would like to see him set up onto Zeusco, because easy kills with the Kunkka and a Mirana.
Absolutely, yeah. Zeus is just incredibly good. He's sort of moving. He's going for this. He's going to run straight in onto Weeha, going with the Pokemon, but is it enough damage with the torrent? It's close, but it's not. Weeha will live. Noob goes down as GH comes in and offers that extra bit of control to make sure that Weeha, with the trade, does still end up dying as LeBron swings round from the high ground, takes him down with a magic missile.
He threw the scan out too. He scanned on high ground, but just too late. LeBron was already in range of the stun. And meanwhile, bottom two, DNZ died to RMN as well as Miracle, as I believe they also got the bounty room from him too.
Yeah, they did by the looks of it.
So yeah, I definitely want to see it DNZ, maybe even forfeit the one bounty rune and just make that move mid, because that was a for sure kill if he did make the rotation with the Kunkka.
A bit more pressure on top. I mean, as it is though, the farm for Noob still looks phenomenal.
Yes.
47 last hits. We'll see what sort of route Noob wants to go down, because he has had one of these sort of explosive starts with regards to farm that you've got a lot of options of how you want to do this as the Kunkka.
Yeah, in this game too, in particular, like,
yeah.
Do you want to go for anything out of the ordinary because you are playing versus so much magic damage, or does he just go for like an early BKB because of it? Not sure. Mind control top.
It's getting pretty deep here with these sandstorms. He's very low, but no detection between the two of them. They just have that sentry down in lane, but mind control's able to play around that. See what his plan's going to be here. As that creep wave won't quite pass through the sandstorm. Mind control's just having to remain hidden. This is quite a lot of time when mind control's not really able to do much. And now he shows, and he's got the Burrow Strike, so he's going to attempt to run away with that stun that he's able to get onto LeBron. But LeBron's going to have another magic missile in a second. LeBron's just going to run this down.
He's got
mind control, he just had no way out of there. But no, a nice little juke of the magic missile with another sandstorm.
He might get a kill.
He does with the Burrow Strike, and never mind, it's mind control. Who's going to get the kill? Wow, there we go. Beautiful stuff there from mind controllers.
Under attack.
I mean, I think LeBron thought as well that he had that kill. He did not. Mind control turns around and gets the kill for himself, but DNC will manage to head over and at least claim his life at time. It's getting crazy. We're seeing action all over the map in this game.
Yeah, and we did see the rotation mid. I believe it was DNZ who made the move, and they set up to Weeha with Noob. While also bottom, Miracle got a kill onto the Magnus. So Miracle is still getting quite a lot of free farm though above that troll, but there are trades happening throughout the map.
Yeah. Interesting Miracle as well. He's going to go for the Maelstrom build. I'd say probably not the most popular build on Void right now. I feel like the Mask of Madness progress has been what we've seen from other teams, at least here in ESL One Germany. But Miracle sticking to the Maelstrom builder. Mid lane, Weehaw gets the Thunder God's Wrath out, but he does go down. Tempo close with the three of them. They've also got the X grab onto GH. Is there any further hits coming in? The Tiebreaker is attempted by Noob, but doesn't quite find the angle, so GH will live. Yeah, it looks like they just did not have the availability for a further TP to come in. Miracle doesn't really want to join when he hasn't got Chrono. Iron Man's TP was on cooldown, and Mind Control, he also just TP'd to the top lane, so Nigma just couldn't actually get in and finish off those 3 kills.
Like great aggressive moves coming up from the side of Tempo. Now Cry that has been able to leap toward top, go near his Magnus, get that Empower going, start farming up.
I mean, and this is going to be the question, right? You know, how far can Cry go before he needs a BKB? Is he going to have to go Yasha into the BKB, or do you think he's going to try and get something else after the Yasha before that?
It really depends on how much he wants to do. Oh my god, did he just get the snipe on GH with the arrow?
I mean, I think DN's pulling off some big plays. He's making some fantastic moves. I mean, 3 kills already on this Barana roaming around the map, and yeah, GH getting taken out by it. You know, GH, one of sort of the finest Mirana players, but DNC's ready to show him up.
And he was one of the ones the other day that I was most impressed by when he was playing his Grimstroke. He was explosive. He was all over the place. Even when they lost the game, he was involved in like 95% of their kills.
Gotta watch out for DNC. He is on the prowl.
Good for them right now.
Let's try and set him mid. They have got Moonlight. And with LeBron and Noob here, if any sort of stun catches onto Weehaw, Weeha's got to be careful. Or again, just slightly off the mark, but he's in range for the X mark. They move in straight away, drag him back into the boat. Weeha's surrounded by the 3 of them. GH is trying to help out, but he cannot get them off. Weehaw, as Tempo continue to make these moves, and that's the big one, and that's almost sort of the easiest one for them to make, right? Just go for this Zeus. This is when he's at his weakest in this early game.
It's throughout the majority of the time, like this Zeus is going to be free kills until he has like a Yule Scepter. They don't really have many ways to protect him. He has to get a Yule's this game to dodge out those X-Torrents, X-Boats.
Iron Man. So if he's got the kill here on Bron, he's running same time. DNC and Noob, they get in. The Thunder God's Wrath does finish him off. Miracle's going to head over with the Chrono on 2 of them, but has he got the damage? He's trying for Noob. He's slowed him down as well with the time dilation. The bashes are there. He's going to need a couple more. Is he going to be able to find him? A bit of a heal from the arm, but the bashes are out. Miracle finishes off Noob, and now DNC try and find an escape. He's still got 1 leap left available. But Miracle and Weehaw are chasing. Another leap out the side. He's going to take a couple of tower hits, but he's salving up. He's making space. He's wasting time as they continue to chase. DNC is still on the run, and look who's heading up from the front here. He's able to off up a swap, so they're not going to be able to catch him. DNC makes it out of there.
He's doing so much work right now. He's going for the max arrow build just because he has that X play with him, so he knows for the most part that that arrow is going to land whenever he does go for it. Yep. So that high damage that is increased from when you do max it out, and that max stun up to 5 seconds. And still looking to get aggressive. We did see Crylet did die in the bottom lane to the Sanking as well as the Disruptor during all of this exchange.
Look at this. Crylet, as soon as he's back in the map, he wants to get involved in a fight. Sort of pre-Yasha. He's hunted for action around mid. I think they're in the three-way, but they've already got the
He's diving.
The tower. Crylet's just running straight in onto Weehaw. The boat's going to land down onto GH. Weeha's in trouble. The Starstorm comes down. Weehaw will fall. GH also going to go down as Noob runs him down, finishes him off with the help of DNC.
See you later, nerds.
I mean, they're making all of these aggressive movements around this mid lane behind the tier 1, well, that was once there, of course, now it's been taken out, and they're getting away with it. These moves from Tempo are paying off massively.
They're just non-stop picking Weehaw too. Like we said, they are really lacking a frontliner. So this Zeus every single time, like if my control is not in position there immediately, they have to just sacrifice it because they don't have that hero to just tank the brunt of the force.
It's hard.
It's tough game for Weehaw.
I mean, I think Mind Control, as you say, he's just got to do so much. Not only has he got to be the tank, but you see with the build as well, he is obviously going for the Bleeding Dagger Rush because they need him to initiate. So he's got to initiate and also stay alive. Otherwise, Nigma's going to have a hard time in the team fights.
That's the bottom. Let's get nuked up. They have a glimpse.
See, they've got the setup. Right. Getting nuke low. He's going to be able to get the ult off in time. And now Mitch is going in. He's going to put the RP down onto RMN.
Stolen RP.
Stolen RP there from GH. Catching on the two of them. Can they finish Cry like they can? We are able to burst him down. They'll look for more. But Tempo, they're diving in. Miracle does more, but no Chronosphere available. 20 seconds. Doesn't need it to take down the front. Now turns over towards Noob. They killed off two Nigma. Can they get more Weehawk solo? Noob will be able to finish him, but Miracle should be able to find the cleanup as Noob. He's trying to dupe. Another jump forward from Miracle. He gets the final hit onto him. Will find another. But this time around, Tempo's dive does get punished by Nigma with Miracle able to stick around for the cleanup, and RMN, he's not done yet. He's going to drop the statics on that extra bit of damage. It should just do it. DNZ's going to pop as RMN able to pick up another one here as this game continues to be an absolute brawler between the two sides.
That was, dude, RMN is owning. He's 3-0-6. 1400, he almost has a glimmer for his team.
All right.
RMN is very impressive on his Disruptor, I have to say, almost every time. We see this fight again. Stolen RP kind of turns all the aggression around. And then I see Miracle jump in and get a 4-man time dilation. Everyone's spells are just locked in place. They all have to back away at very slow speeds.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Very nice hold there by Nigma, as it's hold that they don't have to commit many big ults, right? They use the Zeus ulti, but...
Didn't need Chrono. I think they didn't have it. I mean, they didn't have it.
Chrono.
Didn't need it. I mean, if you hit time dilations like that, who needs it?
Yeah, they didn't have Chrono, and the Static Storm came up at the end of the fight, so that was pretty huge for them there. They're gonna have all those up again to be able to fight versus the Tempo, and that is Cry left. You know, he was getting free from up top. He shows up and dies twice.
He's been very insistent in trying to turn up, but it's not been easy for him. I mean, as you said yourself, he needs this BKB. He's going to go for the full S and Y. So if he doesn't, I mean, I imagine he must be getting it afterwards. You know, until he has that, we're going to see the same sort of thing happen there, where they kite him out during the ult, and as soon as the ult ends, it's just so much magical damage that they don't even need to be close to him to throw out at him. It's a very hard fight for the troll to turn up to.
Just so much damage and control throughout all of it. He's gonna have to be very careful with how he approaches the fight. He has to have. I feel like he has to have run buff running in also. But we'll see. As Noob, he is gonna be the one that is going for that first side in BKB. We were kind of thinking that would be the case when he's versus all this amount of spells. Yeah, it looks like double bots on the side of Nigma. So bots on the Zeus soon coming up, and bots on the Sand. So looking for the global threats.
I mean, with the frequency that Tempo's been trying to fight, you can certainly understand why Nigma wants to make sure they can turn upwards. They get the jump onto Mitch. Again, RMN, no holding back. Drops the ult. Now Miracle, he found the catch on the two of them. Even Zeke for Purple LeBron. And DNZ getting caught in the corner, but DNZ's able to jump out to the side. Miracle, time walking away. Mind Control still hunting for more. The Moonlight Shadow is there, but they have the detection now. Noob will pop the BKB. Still trying to escape with this match community. He's even thinking about turning around and getting a hit onto them as GH is getting low. The arrow's in onto Mind Control. Torrent to follow up, but they won't push any further. Tempo, they'll back away.
I'm surprised Crylight's here. He's just watching from the side the entirety of the fight. I feel like he should be farming during all this. I feel like he's getting too involved with his team right now. He was waiting for the Empower here to show back up to push up bottom, but he waited for like 40 seconds just watching his team there.
Yeah, they do need Cry to keep up, because you can see already the difference between Miracle and Cry. It's already pretty significant. Nearly a 2K difference between the carries.
Oh, we again.
Tempo able to find the Zeus alone. I mean, and his game's definitely getting hurt. You know, Weehawk still unable to really get too much traction in this game because he's on such a vulnerable hero, and Tempo are abusing that. Now, Tempo with that kill, they're going to step towards the pit.
Oh,
this is this pretty safely with a mischance and the building up the roar from Rylat.
And there's no Zeus, there's no Chronosphere. You're fine. Yeah, they got this one for sure.
I mean, Mind Control's got his ult, but I guess he's just not in position to do anything about this. He's going to start teeping over towards that top tower. They might be able to make it in time.
Oh, the arrow too to scout it.
Arrow by LeBron. If Mind Control could time this epicenter, he could go for the steal. It's getting low though. Roshan is gone, and Tempo, they've already picked it up. Nigma not able to strike in time. Mind Control still sticking around. He's going to look for the Burrow. Goes to LeBron. LeBron getting low for LeBron. He's able to turn, get the magic missile. Mind Control, he gets taken out. Tempo find one, and now they're going to look for more. Miracle's got to be careful. Pots the time dilation, jumps out, but he hasn't got a Chronosphere. Doesn't want to stick around. DNZ hunts for the arrow, but Ironman's able to duke it. Mitch, what the Static Storm, a glimpse to the side, getting him back to reach of the lift up from GH. But Mitch, he's still able to skewer away. Thunder God Grab isn't enough damage. The arrow from GH doesn't quite connect. Now they're looking to move back in the new popping the BKB. He's got the control on Weehaw, but Weehaw saved for now by the Glimmer Cape. He'll
arrow
live.
connects.
Cry's got to be careful. He's getting low under this battle trust, but he's still got the Aegis. They'll pull him back with a glimpse. They're looking to try and stick him down the once, but the Moonlight Shadow's back up from DNC, and DNC gets them out of there.
And only the bench and the tanking died during the entirety of it. Both teams just very cautious to overcommit. Very nicely done there by Tempo, taking advantage of that kill they get.
Unable to make the pounce in time around the pit. Put a stop to it. Mitch does step forward for the creep wave. Mind control, he's going to go in on him. The glimpse back into the creeps exploding. The Caustic Finale will cause the death of Mitch. DD Rune as well to be found down bottom. Miracle's going to step over. They've got to be careful now, Tempo. DD Void ready to go, and with the Chrono, DNC is going to leap and to the side. He's found by the dilation. Jump forward from Mind Control. Burrow strike, but DNC is no ball.
Throwing the boat out, but the X wasn't on him beforehand.
They did get the X. There's it. Miracle. He found the Chrono, and it's on the big one as well. Cry's on the box, as well as LeBron. And they do it a second time. The agents are going to have them. They're going to make sure there's enough damage. Static Storm, the kinetic shield's down. Iron Man traps him in. No escape for Cryland. Miracle, he's thinking about diving more. Jumps in with a time warp, looks towards Noob, but slow from the shockwave. Will hold him back a little bit. Does mean that Noob still has to pop the BKB at the worry of Mind Control catching him with the Burrow strike. Nigma pushing back hard now. They're taking away that Aegis and the Troll's life on top of it. Now looks to put some pressure onto tier 1 mid.
Definitely seeing that concern though for Krylat, right? Like he went for S and Y, he queues up the BKB net right afterwards, but these deaths are they're costly. Miracle has 3 levels over that Troll Warlord now. 0 deaths as well. 8, 0, and 3 right now on this Faceless Void, having a flawless performance.
Yeah, I think it's got to be as you say. Tempo's got to tell him Cry to just to stick to the jungle world, or at least play away from them. He needs to have the space and time to get that BKB, because without it, he is such a liability in these fights.
He even had Nether Shawl the whole time. You can see it doesn't matter. There's just far too much magic damage and control from Nigma versus a Troll Warlord.
I mean, they're smoking him in again. They're going to try and make a play with the Troll. We'll see if this works out. They do have the ults. You know, they've got Moonlight up as well to get that really good setup.
There's no Chrono. The Static Storm's up in about 15 seconds, so this is a really tough place for Nigma to fight. They're going to scan. They're aware of this going on.
Going to still try and move on with the Moonlight. Of course, unaware that Nigma are fully aware. Weeha's hiding in the trees. I mean, they're going straight in for him.
See you later,
Johnny. With the war, they found him. See you later. And they got him. Weeha has been hunted down. I mean, that was an excellent sweep. How were they so sure that he was there? How did they know?
But they thought, I can say they knew he was top, and they anticipated that he'd make the move down and just hide. That's the brains.
Very nice. And now also getting that position, they're able to get the ward down as well.
Yeah.
I imagine might get dewarded those. They would have been aware that they found Weeha pretty easily. Once they were in the area.
It's pretty quickly dewarded, yeah.
You would imagine.
They're looking to get aggro out here. They got a glimpse of DNZ for a second, so they're trying to set up, but the wraparound is here. Noob's already here. He sees Mind Control and RMN.
I mean, he can BKB and TP out if he wants to.
He's
actually going to hunt for RMN.
Ooh, they're on for a sec. The arrow vision.
Oh, he's hiding. DNZ hot in the case, but they got X in time. They do. They've got him. Dragging RMN straight back after he tries to TP away. Oh, get themselves the kill. And I mean, RMN, a very high value kill. It's the first time that he's died this game after having such a spectacular start as Disruptor.
Ooh. That's a big steal. Rubik has Empower for Miracle.
Miracle's going to be very happy with GH today.
Yeah, he's already farming. He's already quite a bit still above that Troll. Now kicking this in too. He's going to have this Mjolnir finished at any moment.
It's nearly there. Nearly there for Krylat.
Okay.
Just a component away. And then once he has that, he's going in with the BKB and the Empower. And as we said, you know, if he gets on top of Miracle doesn't have anything defensive, so one sort of route could cause big issues. They don't have any sort of saves or items to get Miracle out of that either, so Miracle's got to be very careful how he jumps in once the Troll's got the BKB and is ready to go.
Yeah, he has to kind of focus fire him with that Chrono. Has to be very wary though. He has to be careful of where the Venge, the Magnus are in position. There are different saves that he does have to watch out for.
Yeah, for sure. If he doesn't get him bang in the middle of the Chrono, that RP could pull him out to the side.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that one quite a lot here.
Under attack.
But you can see they're not trying to force or rush anything here. They're perfectly fine with just sitting back and farming. They avoid. I feel like anytime that you avoid, you're fine with just taking to later stages. As you know that you're in a weird spot where tempo is very strong still.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the solo crest done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like
job.
that.
Just making sure that Cry is going to be able to have a strong game once he has the BKB. That he certainly will.
How's Weeha's Yule's looking? He's getting closer to it. Yule's is gonna be huge for him because that makes him just be able to break the combos so he doesn't just get X'd into Torn, into Bowed, into Arrow, into everything. Actually protect himself properly. And they're all just rallied around Miracle, just kind of sticking around him in these trying times.
That's interesting as well. We have a Noob going for the Glimmer. What's sort of the plan behind that?
He's versus a ton of magic damage. Yeah. I actually been liking these Glimmers on core heroes a lot more. I remember I saw
we've seen it before, yeah.
It was what Nisha did it at the Omega League on the Kunkka, I think it was. And then I've seen a lot of people
remember what other Kunkka did it, but you're right, it was Nisha, wasn't it?
Radiant's bottom tower.
A lot of people started kind of copying and people have just been doing it on other heroes. Top DNZ. He gets spotted by Nigma's movement.
Past tense.
And they have the Blink on GH now, so lots of different forms of catch now on Nigma. Blink, Sand King, Blink, Rubik, Glimpse. Advised to watch out how they retreat from certain situations.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But just all about that BKB, which they will have now done on Krylat.
And then we'll see how he's able to play the fights in comparison to Miracle.
Yeah.
Definitely still the tougher ordeal for the Troll. Still a fair bit of catching up required. Miracle sitting very comfortably at the top. 9-0-3. Yet to be taken down this game as the Faceless Void. It's about to hit that level 18 as well. So have that good duration of Chronosphere that is going to mess with tempo as long as he's able to play around the Venge, make sure that someone else is on top of LeBron or that he catches LeBron in it.
Yep. Weeha has Yules, so he's safe, like we were mentioning. But yeah, you can see tempo, they're really trying to kick up that pace, trying to find something here with it. But Nigma immediately, they just nuke out the mid lane in a safe manner, keep their Zeus in a defensive spot, and they just have Miracle keep farming. And Miracle he's looking to try to maybe get DNZ. I saw DNZ farming, he started moving his way toward top instantly.
Bounty.
Well, would you say is there more pressure on one of the teams at this stage of the game to do something, or are both of them sort of fine farming it out?
I feel both are fine farming it out. It's really just going to be an execution in the team fights, yeah.
I'm going to see Tempo try and make a move and catch Nigma off guard. They're going to have to do it very cleanly though. At this point with the passiveness, all ults are available. I imagine that Nigma will happily take a fight unless they lose someone straight away, and they might lose Weeha. This is great position for Tempo to be in as they'll find Weeha. Trying to get away. The arrows off the mark though. Is there going to be any backup to try and help Weeha? They are coming over with TPs. He buys himself some time with the York Scepter, but the torrent hits. Weeha goes down. Stackstorm's going to be put down by Remember, doesn't actually catch anyone in it. He's going to glimpse Mitch away to make sure that he himself doesn't get caught by the hold of the Magnus. But Noob, he's charging in. See if he can find anything. Let's go for the blind torrent. Find RMN. Still though, Static Storm down. Doesn't really catch anything, and Tempo, they get away with a very easy move. I mean, anytime that they do find Weeha, even with the Yules, he's still going to be a relatively quick kill for them.
Yep. Well, they see no Miracle. He's actually going to go for it here.
See, he's got the damage. There's still a BKB and a boat up, but he's even going to get the chance to pop it out. He's not. Noob goes down before he can get a single one of them. Now Miracle can move over for more. Gets the Chronosphere on the low ground and the high ground, catching both Bron and DNZ as Nigma gets 2 more kills thanks to Miracle's quick-witted plays.
Ooh, Noob has to be way more careful with how he shows himself in the lane. There's so much chain stun. My control even bro tanking the arrow for Miracle to make sure that he can keep focus firing. And now it's right around Roche.
Yeah, I mean, there were 3 dead. Very hard to put a stop to this. I mean, Mitch does have Blink and an RP. If he wants to go for some sort of superhero play, he could. Doesn't look like he's intending to do so, not heading over. Miracle is a little low with this roach. It's going to be a huge jump up again for Miracle's power spike. Aegis is going to be available for him if he's the one to take it, and he's also going to have the money for the completed MKB at 27 minutes.
The whole MKB versus Troll Warlord, that is... He's more than a full item over the Troll who has Empower. That's saying something. Sure, he had his own Empower for some slight moments of it, but he's having an absolutely flawless performance while we see Crylight. He's suffering. Those 3 deaths every single time he showed up. He's not farming in the pace that you'd expect a Troll with Empower. He actually looks like a Troll without Empower because he's not even at like 10 last hits per minute or anything like that, or 9 last hits per minute. He's quite behind.
And you would say, if you were sort of to go back, that would be your biggest sort of surprise, that Cry didn't go heavier on the farm and was trying to sort of fight this sort of pre-Asher moments, you know, with level 10 very early on in the game.
I feel like he just turned up a couple times too many. And he was playing on the same side of the map as his team too. Like when that fight bottom was happening, when they lost 3 heroes, he just watched for about 40 seconds rather than being on the other side, hitting neutral camps or pushing lanes or anything. I feel like he had to have been a little bit more selfish with his own farm so far here. Not to say they're fully out of it, but it's looking pretty tough right now.
It's just very worrying for them, seeing how big this Faceless Void is. Miracle, gonna jump in, does get caught by Magic Missile, but it's gonna be dodged. Your GHX with the stolen boat comes crashing in. Sail will swap Mitch out to the side and throw LeBron, but LeBron goes down because of this. Now Miracle, he's gonna try and chase for more Cries. Got the BKB, it's soon to be wearing off though. Will still manage to sneak away there with a Moonlight Shadow. Persisting, DNC is still caught in the river. Jump forward from Miracle, uses the Glimmer Cape, will save DNC for now. Cries, he kind of stepped towards this, but he will get glimpse to the side. Mitch jumps in, it's an RP, has managed to catch the 2 of them, but there's no follow-up. Mitch has to now turn and run. It's caught Cry without the BKB ready to go. Anybody will go down. Mind Control jumps into the epicenter, and the bottom Cry catches the 2 of them. A double kill for We Are. Miracle picks up a 4th as Noob, the last remaining member left alive, to run back to the base. Miracle's in, Chronosphere still ready as he drops it down to get the effective team wipe. We are claiming some glory here as he's the one to pick up the triple. Now at a 6k lead, and with the way that these fights are going, the gap between the Void and the Troll is only going to expand exponentially this race.
Oh man, Nigma just crushing the spell usage in comparison to Tempo. Tempo just not getting their spells off almost at all, and now Miracle with Aegis, he puts them on this weird back foot that he just jumps into the fight, and when Carnage like that starts, you don't really know how to use your spells, right? It's like this Void is just in the midst of everything with an Aegis. You don't want to waste your spells on him, and it ends up just causing way too much chaos. They're all just panicking, and they can't actually do anything.
Tier 2s now. No contest. As Miracle just continuing to go unharmed for this game, 13-0-7.
I mean, I believe he's gonna have the Satanic soon too, and he already was. He's already 13-0-7. He's already unkillable. Yeah. With an Aegis, and he's gonna have another on top. I think that's a pretty good person to tip right there. Yeah, Miracle's had a pretty perfect game.
But you know, despite the difference growing, there is going to be Cry's there. Cry's trying to go for this. Gonna put the BKB and the ult to try and deal with Miracle, but Miracle's actually still able to time walk out and turn over towards Mind Control. They will get the Sand Kings, and they find the route onto Miracle. They can't. He's able to jump out and away from them, but they've found Mind Control. See if they can turn this into anything more. Noob chasing down GH. GH turns with the ult to put a stop to the potential X-Mark play. They do still fine with the X-Mark. GH, she's got the ult, so by herself a little bit of time. The battle trance will allow him to live for a little longer. In fact, he's going to live totally. He's alive. He actually died. Finally died. Noob's able to get him with the Tidebringer hit, but he's fought time. He was able to live that long. Mitch does come over the RP onto the 2 of them. Kai stepping over. The caught RMN is getting low, but Miracle still survives. Turns over towards Mitch. Is 3 dead. Only Noob and DNC left, but Mind Control finds the Marauder, jumps over, catches him with the Burrow Strike. Another team fight where they do try the best, and they do get the cleanup from Noob. Noob, he got a lot of golden XP from that one, I'll tell you that. Miracle is going to try and chase him, but the X-Mark is already down. Mind Control is tag teamed in as he jumps forward, has the lockdown with the Burrow Strike. Noob will get the torrent out, does have the boat coming down as well, but he's already dead. Miracle finishes him off with another set of bashes. as they're trying their best in these fights, Tempo, but it really just is too hard with it. Just this huge difference that how far Miracle is ahead. Off the back of that fight, well, he's nearly level 25.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I can't believe a battle trans. I mean, I can't believe it actually almost saves it, but I can't believe it turns the fight into this type of situation where it's just such chaos for Tempo, where everyone just ends up dying.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, your game is just over. This Void is just too much to deal with, as he's got Chrono available. He might look to just do it.
Oh,
the swap arrow.
That was beautiful.
But
it's not enough. Miracle pops the Satanic. He's back up to full HP. Cry's going to try to get in for the Chronos now. It's caught the three of them. He's over towards LeBron. LeBron goes down first. Turns to DNC. DNC falls. The epicenter is out. Cry. We're going to keep him in about time. The root's there. It's thrown as well. Miracle's in trouble. He's getting controlled. He's dead. Cry. He found one. This is the comeback of Cry, ladies and gentlemen. He's ready to look for more. Who else can he find? Shockwave drags back. GH Cry's in. And the bash in there. It's another kill for Krylat, as they will hold. Krylat says, I'm not out of this game yet. Does cost them 3 buybacks to turn it around and hold the base, but they do hold the base.
And the Troll does get the big kill. And he's getting, I mean, he's getting closer toward that Abyssal. Like, the Basher really is his big timing to become very strong. They still need a lot more of that because it did cost him the 3 buybacks, but some signs of life. From Nigma, you know, playing super over aggressive.
Cry's able to get on top of Miracle again with these bashes and roots. And maybe Tempo can still turn this one around despite the critical mass that the Miracle's been able to reach at such a pace.
They better hope he dives for under the tier 4s again, though. He's still pretty insanely strong. His arm man actually finds DNZ.
TNZ. They're trying for this, but
look at
Weehaw.
Look at Weeha's positioning. He did not leave the base there. He was like, nope, you guys have got me 10 times. But that 11, not gonna get me the 11th time.
What's going on? Where's Mitch? Mitch is here. Mitch has got Blink RP. If they could get a jump and an RP before the Void's up.
Cry's getting extremely low though. He has to be careful. It's stunned from mind control. He might just get popped.
He's got 15 charges on the one. They managed to find connection with the top of the air. Weehar's been caught by the stuns. Weeha is gone. Cry did put the BKB for that commitment. And I've got to be careful now. Miracle's back in the game. Mind control, starting things off with a stun onto Mitch. Mitch, you're in out of time, but they still have the glimpse back. Mitch will be left behind. The rest of them looking to get out of there. DNC's out in the trees with the TP. LeBron, he's hiding and he's hoping. But they're back. Nigma will manage to punish Tempo, but slightly overstaying there with the 2 kills. Now they can push back themselves. Miracle's nearly got the Chrono good to go again. There's a double damage rune up top as well.
I'll take your tribute.
And this is quite a big window. 70 seconds without Mitch able to come into the game. Quite a crucial component for just having some sort of high ground threat that Nigma are going to think twice about pushing into. Now they don't have to worry about the Magnus for a minute.
Yeah, still 20 seconds on the BKB too of Krylat. He has to be careful where he gets caught. If he gets caught by disruptor spells before that sucker's dead.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Miracle's gonna force the issue here. Got this cheese in hand. He's going toward top. Has the backup of his whole team as Weehaw is respawning, and I believe Weehaw has a pretty much full Aghanims when he does respawn too.
Seconds to fight without Mitch. Nigma know it. They're sticking around. The swap.
The arrow again.
The arrow. The anti-missile as well. He's getting so lucky. He's able to lift. The E-play keep him alive. Chrono's out onto the 3 of them. He turns for DNZ. He's going to look towards Krylat. Krylat's backing off. They've got the Rex though. They've got what they came for.
Did that split-second E-Blade save him? I think it did. Mind control, right? It definitely did.
Yeah, it was mind control. It was an E-Blade. It was after that E-Blade saved his life. Without that E-Blade, he was dead. He was 100% dead. Mind control, just what a bro. He saved Miracle so hard there.
And he literally just had picked it up too. I saw him pick it up, and I was like, oh, okay. And then boom. Yeah, just in that situation, gets it off. Bails out his buddy. They back up. They lose mind control, so they're going to give them some root back. They're going to back away together. And like you said, Magnus is back up, so they're still a little bit afraid of that RP.
That means, yeah. Huge save, and they got what they came for.
Yep.
Still continuing to very much be in their advantage. Nigma this game, 18k advantage at 42 to 25 and a set of racks up. Pressure is on for Tempo. They've got to come out with some outstanding jumps, outstanding RPs. And Mitch, he's getting close to the items to be able to do that. You see him going for the Shadow Blade just so he has that extra setup.
It's not an easy. It's not an easy game to be able to try to set up for those RPs. You're playing versus Zeus. You're playing versus like a lot of situations where there's just vision on you. If you mistime it, Thunder God's Wrath, all these different spells, they mess with your Blink Dagger a lot. And he also has to always watch out for the GH Rubik. As he's already got he got the RP, I believe, what, twice this game already? And now he has an Aeon Disc too, and just so many different positioning items. There's a lot of situations where Mitch has to just be very careful of how he uses his spells.
Yeah, I mean, I get in terms of sort of playing against a Rubik when you are the Magnus. What are you meant to do? You just meant to try and instantly shockwave after the RP. I mean, is that the best way to cover yourself?
Yep, or catch him in it.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah. Got to be quick on that, otherwise, yeah, GH, as you say, he's always going to find that chance if you sort of skip a beat and aren't covering your RP.
Especially like with Aeon Disc too, it makes it easy because if you are caught inside the RP, you can still get your steals off and spells off. Mind control, he peeps, he sees him for a second.
Oh, he used the Thunder God's Wrath to get themselves vision. Mitch still hunting, but the dust is out. Nimbus as well, Miracle's in. He's diving, but not quite for 10 seconds. Got the two on the back lines. Mitch is dragged in. Static Storm causing issues for Cry. Arrow does connect onto RMN. Cry getting controlled by these constantly, but he still has the BKB back up. He's actually going to put the BKB to try and get out, but the Miracle is there in time to put a stop to the escape of the Troll. The Chrono catching him through the BKB, of course. They do manage to get out on Noob, but 4 of them down on Tempo. Nigma can sweep down the mid lane, and nobody has buyback available.
And that's what we're saying, how the game for Mitch is just, it's so difficult. They just pop the Zeus ult, he runs around in circles trying to get away from glimpses and stuns, but inevitably gets it by one, and Chronosphere comes up at literally that split second to be able to catch the troll at the end of it all.
And they're getting aggressive for this. They know Noob's alone. Noob has got the BKB to run back. Nigma will be better suited to focus on the barracks here mid. There'll be one more fight left in Tempo. You can feel it, especially the way that they've played, despite being behind a lot of this game. They've certainly given it their all. Right, they've got the fortification, but you're right, without the troll up, they are unlikely to try and fight this. So it's going to be one final hurrah. Be able to survive 30 seconds. The Skewer nearly gets GH back into the base. Isn't quite enough of a distance. Static Storm's down. Mitch will wait it out. 20 seconds until Cry lets on. Back in the game, and then they'll try for something more. But the Megas are out. It is going to take something remarkable from Tempo to turn this one, as Nigma, of course, feeling very confident. Miracle continuing to probably just tab open his scoreboard and have a little look at what he's achieved, as he's 23-1-13 this game.
And then Weehaw probably opening up the scoreboard and looking at Miracle's score and being like, man, that's a nice score.
And then saying, you know what, I did that. You know what I mean? He's like, look at the space I created, Miracle. All that space. And to be fair, a lot of the deaths did take a lot of focus from Tempo. Truth for that to be said. See what they can do. They're going to try and set with the Moonlight. They need something in they're not going to be able to catch it by surprise. The Thunder God's Wrath from Weehaw certainly doing his job there.
Oh, another
as he
DD.
Spots it out.
Plus another DD for Miracle.
Always finds the room. There. Got the Hex, the boat, but again, this E-Blade making Miracle more than fine as he's able to jump away. Bow strike in on a Krylat. Krylat will pop the ult, but the bashes from Miracle are real as Cry can't even get a touch onto the Faceless Void. As Cry will go down, 3 dead on Tempo. They're up to the high ground. Shot ball from Mike over the Burrow Strike. GG is called. Nigma will take game 1 here against Tempo. A fun game, lots of action. But action that Tempo just... Well,